Hello, everybody. It is, what is it? Wednesday morning, August 3rd, coming up on 9 a.m. Heading back from a meeting this morning. And what's it say? Just looking. What did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about who your friends are, who you're hanging out with. What are they doing? What are you doing? Are you hanging out with people that are bringing you down, or hanging out with people that are negative, or are you hanging out with people that are there to help lift you up and help you succeed? And what I mean by that is, you know, we've all heard the saying, you are the equivalent of the 5 people you hang out with. And oh goodness, probably 4.5 years ago, prior to starting my home business, I did not hang out with a lot of people that were always extremely positive. You know, they were friends, you know, and I still talk to them today. But the biggest challenge for me was finding new friends and finding friends that were more positive. You know, there's so much negativity in the world today that, you know, I mean, that's why I got rid of my cable bill a 1.5 years ago, was because of all the junk and whatnot. So, but when you get rid of a lot of negativity in your life, it's amazing how much positive stuff will happen. You know, one of the things I wanted to mention, and this was one of the reasons for this live feed, is last night I was at our Team Nitro meeting, team meeting that we have every week, and there's another gentleman there who I met 4.5 years ago. I know him well. He is not on my team. He's on another team. And he is mid-60s or so. And he was a self-made millionaire, I believe, by the age of 26 already. So, and has been very successful his whole life. Well, he's been seeing what I've been doing on Facebook regarding another business that I am just starting. And we were, before the meeting started, we were sitting down having some pizza, and we're talking, and I was telling him a little bit about what I'm doing, showing him some things on my cell phone, and he looks at me and he goes, "Now I'm intrigued." And I looked at him and I said, "Really?" I said, "Why?" He goes, "Now you've got my attention." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you have found another way to pull money out of thin air." And hey, Darren, how you doing? Patty, I see you there. And he said, "You found another way to pull money out of the air." And I looked at him and I said, "What do you mean?" Now, keep in mind, like I said, this gentleman is a self-made millionaire, so I'm going to listen to him. You know, I'm going to listen to what he has to tell me, because he is at now where I am shooting to be. And he said, "You found a way to earn a passive income based off of an idea. There's no product. There's no upfront cost. There's no inventory." And guys, for the people that know me, I'm not talking about my stream business. This is something else. And he said, "I want to know more." So before our regular team meeting started, I went and I started showing him what I was doing. And he looked at me as I'm showing him on my phone what I'm doing. He looked at me and he goes, "Tom," he goes, "you and I are going into business together." And I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, I have been earning passive and residual income for many, many years. He goes, "You found another way that I didn't know of to do that, where you're literally taking money and just pulling it out of thin air and earning an income from that. He said, and I want in, and we're going to go into business together. He goes, call me tomorrow, or he goes, I'll call you tomorrow, we'll get started. And I was like, okay. I said, that's fine. I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but let me tell you something. When a self-made millionaire looks at you, likes your ideas, likes what you're doing, and just looks at you and says, you and I are going into business together, you don't ask questions. You just nod your head and say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you can't be afraid to take the leap of faith. You can't be afraid to take the risk and everything. And this all started because he saw what I was posting on Facebook, and it rose his curiosity. And he said, what is it? How does that work? And, so I started telling him. And he said, I'm interested in telling me more. When he said, now you have my attention, that's what made the hair stand up on my arms. And last night before the meeting started, before our team meeting started, he already said, I got ideas. He goes, write these down. I'm getting out my cell phone. I'm on the memo pad writing these things down. And after the meeting, we were talking some more out in the parking lot for another half an hour or so. He goes, I've got more ideas. Write this down. So, I'm writing this stuff down. He goes, I'll call you tomorrow. I said, cool. I said, listen, if I don't answer the phone tomorrow when you call me, I said, text me your ideas and whatnot. And I said, and I'll start working on them. So when I titled this, you need to check your friends. What I mean by that is the people that you're hanging out with, your 5 closest friends, are they bringing you up or are they bringing you down? 4.5 years ago, when I changed the people that I hang out with, my life changed. My financial situation changed. I started reading books. I started mimicking what my millionaire friends do. I still work the 9-to-5 job. I enjoy it. I work in my family's business. I've been there. This is now my 27th year being in the family business right out of high school. I'm 44 years old. But it's not what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I only plan on being there for a couple more years because these 3 other businesses that I have are going to be taking over my regular day job. I'm keeping my day job right now because it's obviously job security until I get these 3 other things off the ground. And I'm looking at retirement by age 50. Right now I'm 44. My goal is 50. The way that I'm on track, that might even be earlier, around age 48 or so. But you're not going to find an entrepreneur who wants to have their own life working a 9-to-5 job until they're 65 and then trying to retire on Social Security or a pension. You work your whole life only to live on half of what you couldn't live on to begin with. I know that there's a lot of guys that make a good living. I see some that are watching me right now, and they make a good living. But what happens tomorrow if you stop working? You stop getting paid. I don't like that. I want to stop working and keep getting paid. It's pretty awesome when I'm at my day job and my phone is in my desk and all of a sudden it rings and it goes cha-ching. Well, I have my regular day salary that I make, and then every time my phone goes cha-ching, that's more on top. Another additional $200 today, another additional $250, $300 today, and I'm at my regular job. So imagine if you took your regular job, whatever that is, say it's $150 a day is what you're making, and your phone goes off and it goes cha-ching, and that means that you just made another $200, and you're sitting at your job or doing whatever. So you've now made $350 that day total. My goal is 1K a day. That's my goal. So, and that's with everything that I do. I actually want to get a license plate that says 1K a day, but I think that may, I don't know how that would look. It's a little cocky. So, but when I changed my friends and I started to hang out with successful people and have those successful people as part of my inner circle, is when my financial situation changed. I ended up getting married, having a baby, buying the house I've always wanted in the Poconos in a resort area, and was able to have my wife be home with our little girl Cielo for roughly 10-11 months before she wanted to go back to work. You know, most people can't afford to take off the regular 6 weeks maternity leave and miss a week of pay because they can't afford it. You know, they have a newborn baby they got to put in daycare. You know, I was fortunate enough to, you know, after 11 months, my wife said, I want to go back to work. I said, okay. So she did, you know, and I'm cool with that. You know, that always helps. But, you know, I got rid of cable, too much negativity. You know, a lot of people say, oh, did you see that show last night? Did you see that show last night? And say, nope, I didn't see that show last night because I was up until 1:30 in the morning, or 12:30 in the morning, working on some things to build my business with another person who was also interested in starting a business with me. So I'm looking at 2 in 1 week. One I approached, and then the other one approached me, and whatnot. So, and I don't want to say what the other one is yet because it's not 100% complete. But you change your friends, you change your mindset. You know, often every weekend I see posts from my friends, you know, going to the bar, going to get drunk. You know, well, you're going to the bar, I'm going to the bank. And there's a quote that I often see on Facebook regarding that. So, you know, I understand a lot of people live for the day, but at the end of the day, you really have to look at, you know, what you did, you know, and see how it benefits you. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. You know, the difference is I choose not to spend 5 of those hours every day watching TV because that is just a income reducer. You know, here's something else I don't understand. A lot of people complain that they don't make enough money, they want to make more money, they hate their job. So they'll go to work 5 days a week, 40, 50 hours a week. They'll work for somebody else, making their boss's dreams come true, maybe being an entrepreneur. And then when you leave work, you go home, you eat, take a nap, do whatever, watch TV. You don't do anything for yourself. What are you doing for yourself? You know, most people, they work, when they go home, oh, I'm too tired from work. Well, you know what? That mentality will keep you broke. It'll keep you living paycheck to paycheck. I saw a friend of mine post just the other day, Tuesday. He went out and bought a bunch of hats. He goes, I just blew the rest of my paycheck on hats. How smart is that? How smart is that? And he had about, well, it looked like 5 or 6 or 7 hats. So let's just say that was $10 per hat. It was probably more. They look like nice hats. But $70 blown on hats. Now, we all like hats and whatnot and different things. But that $70 could have gone towards starting a home-based business. You know, this is also somebody that complains, about not having money and whatnot, and has to borrow money. You know, you got to prioritize yourself. You know, there was a point when I was younger where I was materialistic. You know, I had the brand new Mustang that I ordered, the whole 9 yards, $40,000 car. It looked cool, it was awesome and everything, and I wanted it. It was, you know, something that was showing people that I was becoming successful. And I've gotten to the point, and this is only about 5 years ago, where I'm like, you know what, screw that. I don't care what other people think of me, meaning I don't need to buy that big expensive car, you know, to show that I'm successful. It's nice that I can afford that, but I've just learned to simplify my life because there are a lot more things more important than that. There are a lot of friends that I have that do have the very expensive $100,000 cars. That's awesome. They can very easily afford it, and they like it, and there's nothing wrong with that, and they're awesome cars. But some just like to, just be a little bit more simplified. So, it also helps to prepare you if something ever were to happen in the future, and whatnot. But once I started to hang out with, once I changed my 5 friends to successful people, going to these meetings with my team, hanging out with people from other teams that are successful millionaires. I've never known so many millionaires and hung out with so many as I do now versus 4.5 years ago. 4.5 years ago, I had 2 friends that I knew of that were millionaires, self-made millionaires, and every time I see them, they were golfing or hanging out here. It's as if they never worked, and I couldn't understand why. Once I started to hang out with these kinds of people and these millionaires, I started to understand it's kind of funny. It seems like the more money they make, the less they work. So, and that's where I've gotten to the point where I'm getting on my way there. So, your broke friends will try to give you financial advice. How smart is that? It's not smart at all. Why would you listen to broke Uncle Harry? He's broke for a reason. Broke Aunt Sally, she's broke for a reason. So you want to find somebody who is successful. You want to find somebody who is where you want to be, and you want to mimic what they do. Don't question it. Just mimic it. Do it. When this gentleman said to me last night, we're going to go into business together, I looked at him and I said, okay. I didn't ask any questions because I know that he's going to guide me. And I said, okay, sounds good. What are we going to do? He goes, I'll call you tomorrow. We'll get started. So that's it. I'm heading in my office now. I'm going to be there in a couple minutes, but I just wanted to have you think a little bit about who you're hanging out with. Get rid of the negativity in your life, and once you find more positive friends, your life is going to change, and start going to the bank instead of going to the bar. Bars don't do anything for you, not that there's anything wrong with that, but keep in mind, every time you go to that bar, you're making the owner of that bar, who's the entrepreneur, you're helping him to keep his dreams alive. So imagine if you, for all the time that you would spend out drinking or at a bar or just hanging out, imagine if you took that time and worked on yourself for self-development. Imagine how much money you'd have in your savings account. So, but that's it for now. And this video is going on a little longer than what I was shooting for. So, but guys, if you guys have any questions or want to know what I'm up to, you can visit my website, www.designedtohelpyou.com, and the 2 is the number 2. So designed, the number 2, helpyou.com. See you later, guys.